Hello you lovely people. Today we're going to have a look in my get home bag. To be fair, it lives most of its life in my van, so it's always there wherever I take the van. When I'm travelling to and from work, it's a 30-mile return journey. However, if I'm going fishing, which is quite frequently, then potentially it's anything up to a 60-mile return journey. So whilst I've got extra bits in the van that would tide me over, a decent wool blanket, etc, etc, the get home bag is there just in case the zombies have come, the AA don't want to come, I can't catch a lift, and I've got to use Shank's pony. So this is the bag. It's a 29 litre, and all in, that's wet, that's including water and food, it comes in at 16.5 pounds. So let's have butchers at the bag. So, as I said, 29 litres. What I like about it is it's quite conventional. Pocket there, one large compartment, sort of clam style, another clam style compartment, and then a small pocket here that goes the full length of the bag. What I have added to it, which you'll see, is a set of cat's eyes or ranger eyes. They charge up in natural light, and then in low light they glow. So if I put it down, it's in the dark, I've got a chance of seeing where it is. And again, if there's somebody following me, they can get eyes on in the dark and have an idea of where I'm going. Anyway, let's just open her up. So this front pocket, a silver map, a silver compass. There's a 1 to 25,000 OS map there that covers my area to and from work. Obviously, I'm not going to show you what area that is, haha. And then, squashed in the front of it, is a Maxpedition pouch, and we'll have a quick look at that. So, Energizer head torch. It's got a facility on there that it'll also give me red LED so it doesn't obstruct night vision too much, and various settings. It's not bad. It's only about a tenner. It runs off 3 AAA batteries. Ferro rod, some cable ties, Blade Tech knife sharpener, some Tinder Quips in a tube, Write in the Rain pen, mini Sharpie, a lighter, a notepad. In the centre part we've got paracord, yellow glow stick, spare batteries for the head torch, some hand gel, little LED light, and there's an isotope marker that I've had for probably over 10 years and it still glows quite well. Again, it's ideal, you can just clip it on your bag if you're going to land up getting your nut down, and it will glow, so at least you know where your kit is. Then an original Leatherman super tool, one of the very first, the original. I've had this donkey's years. I know it's got locking blades in it, but it stays in the van. It's a tool. I'm not walking around with it every day, and as I say, and if I have to actually use Shank's pony to get home because, you know, the zombies have invaded or the aliens have invaded, then carrying that, to be fair, is the least of my worries. And that's it. That is the full contents of that pouch. So, moving back to the bag, we've done that one. This side pouch, I will probably stick a bit of the red heat shrink tube over here, much the same as I did on my EDC bag in a previous video, because this pouch is purely first aid. First aid kit. tourniquet and a cuts kit. If I was having to leave the vehicle and actually utilise this, that and that will be going into my coat or trouser pockets. It won't be staying in the bag. Idea being that if I land up unfortunate enough to lose the bag, I've still got stuff on my person. So that's the first aid items in that pouch. The opposite side is a good old 58 pattern water bottle. There's a litre of water in there. One of my Crusader cups. Excellent bit of kit. Bit heavy, but there's a reason for that. And a lid that I made over 10 years ago for it. Itchy staids, boil time. And then elasticated strap keeps it all together to minimise rattle. I tried an Nalgene in here and it is extremely tight, which I didn't sort of really think about when I first bought the bag. I was hoping it'd take an Nalgene, but it doesn't. But it takes the Crusader cup and the 58 pattern bottle perfectly in there. Hence why it's a Crusader cup and not a titanium nesting cup on an Nalgene. Right, what you might also notice, these side pulls have got paracord on them. Well, that doesn't matter too much on here because of where the bag's actually kept, which is in my van. If you were using this type of rucksack where you've got paracord zip pulls and you're sort of in and out, on and off of public transport or that, just loop the paracord together. That way, if anyone with sticky fingers comes along and tries to unzip your bag, it doesn't happen. All it's doing is moving the zip around the bag. So it's just, you know, a little bit of a sort of security tip. And it doesn't take long to undo it. Right, in here, I've got this pouch. There's an old paracord bracelet on there with a built-in whistle. And then in this pouch is a 1 litre pour and store bag. So it'll take, it's quite thick plastic, it stands up, it's got a base, it'll take a litre of water. A piece of silicone food safe tubing, because in my head, trying to drink some water out of a bag or the unlubricated condom or anything else would be a nightmare. If I've got a straw, I can stick it in there and just suck the water up. The other thing that's in here is a polymath survival tin. I'm not going to get it all out. There's a couple of bits of inner tube around it, or Ranger bands if you want to be tactical. It's still in the bag. There's a Fresnel lens in the back and there's a £20 note, just so there's some emergency cash if I need it. Again, if I got to the point where I've actually got to leave the vehicle and use this kit, this pouch will be coming out of the bag and going in my pocket, again for the same reason. If I lose the bag, I've got survival items in my pocket. Dig a bit deeper, Ziploc bag, there is a pair of mechanics gloves, a Benny hat, a bandana and a neck over. So it's just, I put it in there now because it's sort of colder this time of the year, so it's sort of winterising it a bit. So, and they're just in a Ziploc to keep them dry. Then we've got waterproof jacket and trousers, not the best in the world, but better than nothing. The van's always got decent outdoors clothes in it. I'm generally got outdoorsy clothes on, but I just want something in here just in case. Then in this mesh pocket I've got another LED marker light that I showed on the EDC work bag, the Helicon Tex one. So there's another one of those, being that this has actually got molly straps on it, so if I want to I can just literally clip it on and then if I'm walking besides traffic, they can see me, or if there's people following me that I want to follow me, can see where I'm going. Then in this zipped pocket, there's some cordage, water straw, an FFP3 mask, and then in this bag there is a packet of tissues, some nitrile gloves and a cloth COVID mask. So that's it for that compartment. So moving into the next section. Emergency bivvy bag, Mylar. This one, however, is green, because in my head, if the situation is that bad that I've got to use this, which would mean it's pretty dire, the chances are I don't want to bump into every Tom, Dick and Harry. So I want something that's a little bit more low-key as opposed to bright orange. BCB stove with just 3 fuel cells in there. They're quite good. If you don't know about them, they're a compressed alcohol gel. You can use them on your hands to disinfect, but they burn nice. So there's 3 tablets in there in the BCB stove. This one is food. There's not a lot in there because, as I say, chances are, if I'm going to work, I've eaten. If I'm coming home from work and that happens, I've eaten my lunch, so I'm not exactly starving to death. Likewise if I'm elsewhere. But although I've only got a 30-mile return journey to and from work, if something bad was to happen, it isn't necessarily going to be a straightforward journey home. There could be, for whatever reason, depending on the incident, detours. So what might be, say, a 6 or a 7 hour walk home could turn into an overnight stay. So we have an all-day breakfast, can be eaten hot or cold, depending on, you know, the situation. I don't like it cold, I prefer them warm. Cinnamon cake, a nappy sack, put the rubbish in. Ration pack heater, so if it's in a situation where I don't want flames, I don't want to use a stove, I can add some water to that, put that in there and it will cook itself. It hasn't got to be drinking water. If you haven't got a lot of drinking water, it can be the water out of a puddle. You can have a jimmy in it. I know some people are going to go, oh, why would you do that? At the end of the day, it's your wee. It's not coming into contact with the food. It's just being used to activate the chemicals in there to heat it up. Yeah, the outside of the bag, fair enough. Roll it down, the food inside is not contaminated. So if your water's short, you can use any untreated water, or if you have to, pee in it. Titanium spork, I just stuck a bit of heat shrink. I made a little sleeve over the top so that the sharp bits don't end up making holes in things I don't want it to. Literally a brew kit. There's Puritabs in there. I think there's either 10 or 20 Puritabs in there for water disinfectant, some sweets, but primarily it's a brew kit. That's it food wise. What I am going to add in there is something I've got in my pocket. I've got a sausage in my pocket. Not quite, don't get too excited. Pepperami gives you your protein, although you'll find them in the chiller compartment in the supermarkets. If you actually read the packaging, it says does not need to be refrigerated. So it's good to go. That's going in there when I pack the food back in there, just to give me a little bit more. Right, bottom of this pocket is poncho. It's in DPM, yeah, so it'd be secret squirrel and hide. There's a couple of bin bags in there. There's a silver mylar blanket. Dyneema guy lines already attached to it. There's more cordage and there's some pegs. So if I've got to stay out overnight, I can stick a shelter up. I'm not too keen on wearing ponchos as waterproofs. To be fair, that's why there's separate kit there. Sorry about that, I was a little bit unprepared. The battery went flat on the recorder, so I better give it a charge up. Right, so anyway, we've done a poncho. Lastly, in this compartment, this is the water bladder sleeve, and then all I've done in here is I've got a waterproof bag, or water resistant I should say, and inside it, he says, if he can actually manage to get, I can't believe the battery went flat, what a knob end, eh? But anyway, in here is a snug pack jungle blanket. Now why is that in there? Well, to be fair, it's part of the sort of winterisation, if you like, of the get home bag for me. It fits in the hydration pocket, doesn't weigh a great deal, gives a little bit more padding to the bag when it's against my back, and at the end of the day, at this time of the year, it's going to offer me a little bit of warmth. Am I going to want to go camping with it in January with a snug pack jungle blanket? No. If I didn't have it, would I be cold? Yes. If I had got it, perhaps I'll be a little bit less cold. So that's the reason it's in there. I'm not saying it's going to keep me warm and toasty, but it's better than nothing. Always, even if you, in your own get-home bags, if you don't want to spend the money and buy something like this, stick a 1 or a 2 litre, a 1 or a 2 season sleeping bag, cheap one, in your bag. Doesn't weigh a lot. You know, as I said, it's not camping, but it will offer you some insulation and help keep you warm. So I'm just putting that out there. Anyway, I'm waffling now, and I still can't believe the bloody battery went flat. Right, so, and finally, in the bottom of the bag, it's all going tits up now, isn't it? So in the bottom of the bag, there is a little zip compartment. Excuse me. That when I bought the bag was empty, but what I've actually put in there is a waterproof or water resistant, I've got to stop saying waterproof because stuff isn't, water resistant rucksack cover, and it goes over the whole lot. When I was researching, for want of a better word, a get home bag, I was reading the reviews, and you got the normal, yeah, overall the quality is pretty good, price wise pretty much the same as the Helicon Text bag was, but people are moaning that it's not waterproof. There's not many rucksacks or backpacks that are waterproof, which is why you're either going to use a liner or you're going to put stuff that you want to keep dry into Ziplocs. So that really was the only negative about it, you know, not being waterproof. And as I say, most of them aren't. It's little things. It's like when you've got your zips done up, yeah, don't leave the opening at the top, because where they meet up there's a slight gap, yeah? Pull them right down to the side, less likely for water to go in. Anyway, my apologies for it all going a little bit wrong. I was completely unprepared for it. But that is, almost, not quite. Okay, straps. Sternum strap, fine, yeah, keeps the stability on when you're wearing it. What it has also got is a belly belt. Won't call it hip belt because it don't go around my hips, it goes around my belly. Yeah? What is though, this lower lumbar support here, it actually folds inside. So if you're using it as an EDC bag, or you're on and off of public transport, you're not going to fart back doing a belly belt up. You can tuck it behind, yeah, so there's no belt. If you then actually got to, yeah, give it long legs and move, so you want some stability, you can pull it out. It's quite a good pad in there, it's quite a good width. The only thing, I'm not 100% about the buckle. I mean, it's solid, but to be fair, I bought some replacement buckles that I might put on here, some Fastex ones, because this one is a little bit cheap and nasty. But in saying that, it works, so I'm undecided if I actually want to bother modifying that. But as I say, it's good, all folds up under that lumbar support there, and then it's gone. Enough of me, that's the bag. Please do like and subscribe if you found it useful, and in the comments, if there's anything that you think I should have, stick it in the comments. Perhaps send us a link to your own, so we can have a look what other people are carrying. Thank you very much. Good evening and goodbye.